We're not meeting up for it. Oh, no, no, no.
So Gary Thompson has got an awful lot to answer for. This man is responsible for the Man of Porridge, which is a ridiculous biking event that takes place once a year. And you know, the bike riding is not the important bit. It's all the fun stuff that he gets us to do along the way that's the fun bit.
Gary says it's like Fight Club. No one talks about Fight Club, and you have just told 92 people.
Stop being so exclusive. Everybody needs to know about porridge. And anyway, we wrote an article about it for the Single Track magazine.
And you better watch because your mum's here.
No,
she is.
Well, I wasn't nervous before. I'm nervous now.
Brilliant.
Yeah, everything you know about bikepacking. You
didn't. Joined. Hi, Jen from Oxford.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's a long way away.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out on the titanium bike with the new tent. Oh, Jen and Joe, us too. Although I have not got a titanium bike or a new tent, but still can't wait to get out.
I just posted a couple of journals to some people in Oxford. That would be a bit of a.
Jen and Joe?
No.
Oh.
No. Just today, I've been doing that. These are they. This is what you all stand to earn yourselves if you make it to the end of day 5, everybody. Some of you probably already have it, but signed copy of the Highland Trail. Amazing photos by James Robertson.
Lots of great photos. I'm not sure if James is here tonight. Gary Thompson suggests, how about suggesting that everyone must dash off and sit and hold an item of kit from their past HT550 or up and coming HT550? Well, I guess it would depend how many HT550ers there are, but please feel free if you have. I've got mine here.
What's yours, Jenny?
Mine's is my quad lock.
An essential piece of equipment.
I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah. I don't have the ukulele.
I'm just gonna have my unwashed Old Low thermal top. Oh, they're a little bit smelly. They're a bit smelly. I don't hope you're alone, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Carol's asking if I have a book about my round the world trip yet. It would be a perfect time to write it just now, wouldn't it? But no.
It's too hard to concentrate on stuff like that just now.
Really hard, isn't it? Just to put that focus in. I can ride my bike, but thinking about writing it's difficult. Oh, here we go. Jen says it's not for her. Jen in Oxford says it's not for her, but there's a tedious link here. But my mum went to college with Lee's mum.
No. What was your mum's name, Jen?
Mary Wiley.
Mary Wiley. Leslie. You can have a think about that. I didn't know that name actually.
Yeah.
Wow. That's mental.
Who's that? Yes, they should write a book and make Mark Bowman edit it. Oh, Leslie says she kens her well. Oh. Right, this is lovely.
It's nothing to do with bikepacking.
So this is as full. We've got 101 people in the house.
Oh, nice one, everybody. Well, I should probably take it away then.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought that what I would do is get back from work at 6 o'clock and pack my bike as quickly as possible, as if I was about to race the Highland Trail. So you have to forgive me if I stumble and I've got some wrong things or I've missed some stuff on the kit. That's what the Q&A is for at the end. So if you think, why did she not take that, or why in the world was that in there, then it's probably a mistake. So Q&A me at the end and we can have a good discussion about it. But what I've done is I packed my bike as if I was about to race the Highland Trail. So this setup is minimalist. It's like the lightest weight that I would ever think about riding my bike overnight anywhere. And I guess the way I've packed just now is with a good weather forecast. I've never packed it this light if the forecast has been rubbish, because the Highland Trail 550 it's a serious undertaking. Like, you're in really, really remote Highland, and the folk that are on now that know this, and Jenny's nodding her head, you know, you're out there, it's full on. You need to know that if you get into trouble, you can get yourself out of it. So although the setup is minimal, it's got everything on there that will get me out of trouble. And I didn't know if folk might want to know what I wore as well. I wasn't going to get dressed up because that's weird. But no, Jenny.
Oh, it'll be fun.
You want to put your chamois on and come back and tell folk. But instead, what I did do was I laid it all out neatly. My clothes never look like this, so you're very good, all of you. So, helmet, really obvious. The people ask, what shoes do you wear that have a cleat, so you've got that power, but also that you can walk in. And I find these really, really good. Giant gyro rumbles. They're pretty stiff sole, and they're not at all waterproof, but they do the job. They've got a Vibram sole for all that hike bike. Wool socks, like mega important. Remember the first year I did the Highland Trail, I was bog trotting with Alan Goldsmith, the race organiser, on the first day. And he said, oh, woe betide all these people that don't have wool socks. I didn't have wool socks that year. I did the next year. A total key, I think, to riding layered properly, that you don't want to always be stopping and shifting about your layers. So I put clothes on at the start of the Highland Trail, and I don't take them off until I finish the Highland Trail. But that's not to say that I'm not moving things around and being able to vary my body temperature. And the secret to that is just always wearing arm warmers and leg warmers, and you just roll them down. So for the whole time, I've got a set of arm warmers either roll down at my wrists, leg warmers roll down at my ankles, or pulled up, and you can even do that while you keep moving. So that's handy. Wool ones are great, but these aren't. And you'll notice I've only got one. I don't know where the other one is. Continuing on the wool theme, mega important, this. You smell disgusting at the end of the Highland Trail, but it's mitigated by merino wool. So I wear everything next to my skin is made of wool. So that's merino wool, short sleeve top, and then I can vary how hot I am by taking my arm warmers up and down. Controversially, Jenny, I start in a pair of bibs. Now, Jenny knows that I don't usually wear bibs to ride my bike.
She doesn't.
And it's true.
She does know that because you don't.
So it's because I don't. But you do, don't you? And you love these.
I love them.
These are brilliant as a kit because, well, if you're Jenny, then you don't have to get off your bike to go for a wee.
Only if there's bears, get some context.
I always get off my bike to go for a wee, even if I've got drop seat bibs. But that's handy if you're a woman. You don't have to take all your layers off and then take your straps down and stuff. So
yeah,
I do start in these, but I don't find it very comfortable riding in the chamois day after day. This is not my first choice. And last year I did it. Actually, I didn't wear bibs at all. I didn't wear bibs at all on the Colorado Trail. Just merino wool boxer shorts and overshorts, because I think that barrier really works. So you've got the overshorts to keep the dirt out, which is what gives you a sore bum, that dirt. So that's what keeps the dirt out. And then a pair of merino wool boxer shorts that just felt a bit intimate to bring out and show you. But, you know.
Get them out. Come on, we're all friends.
No.
It's only me.
You've seen my pants. So what have I missed?
What about pressure sores when you're riding like that, Lee? Do you find like did you have to build up to be able to do that, or did you just naturally be able to switch from chamois to boxers?
I think it was more a psychological shift actually, because I don't think my bum was ever any sorer the back-to-back days that I did the first time I wore merino boxer shorts and shorts. No, because the friction's taken, you still got those two layers, so the friction's taken out of it. Yeah, you don't have the padding, but especially if you're mountain biking, you're in and out the saddle the whole time.
Yeah. Do you do road biking?
It's a little bit different. If I'm sitting in the saddle for a long time, then road biking is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the key is there's no secret solution. I think it's just if you've got two pairs of shorts and you swap them in and out, then you vary where all the different sores are. And yeah.
I quite like doing that, taking one pair of bibs and then one pair of pants, and then you've almost like switching the sores, so it's not just like the same thing that like you've only got one option.
Yeah.
Lee, what about if you're washing your pants? Where might you dry them?
Generally the head. I think the head area is the best area, and especially over the helmet, because you've already got the vent holes in the helmet. And if you put your pants over the helmet, comme ça.
Oh, look at that!
Like proper wings off that. They really dry fast, don't they, if you do that?
Dry very fast. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't know because you leave them on there all day, but I'll take your word for it that they dry fast.
Oh dear, painting in a very bad light. I use fingerless gloves on the Highland Trail if the weather's good, because to be able to be dexterous with my fingers for stuff. And then optional layers. So I wouldn't normally start with this, but it's so handy. Just like an insulated gilet, really really handy. But I would make the call on the day whether or not I took this. If the forecast was good, then I wouldn't, because I've got stuff in my bike for extra layers that I'm going to show.
Warmer bits.
Yeah. So.
Mags is asking if that's why there's always pants at the side of the road.
They're not mine, Mags. I guess one other thing is on this bike, there's not much room for full suspension mountain bike. There's not much room for carrying water, and so for the last few years, I've taken to wearing one of these. It's a running vest. You don't even notice that it's on. But I think the reason I got ill, like I got quite sick on the Tour Divide, was because I wasn't drinking enough and I wasn't able to flush out all those toxins building up in the system. And so now I wear one of these, and it actually acts as a I guess as a gilet in itself. It's got a little bit of wind proofness, and I drink loads more if I do that.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I always stay well away from, I can't, the thought of having something on my back for long distance now, but I remember you getting that and really taking to it quickly.
Yeah, I know I was resistant to it as well, because the more you carry on your back, the more weight is going into your saddle, and then we're talking about, looking after your bum, and it's going to have an impact of that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I like it. I make a rule where I don't put anything else in that, so it's just what I'm carrying. And there's you still get ventilation sort of behind it because it's so slim.
Yeah. Great.
Everybody's different. Should we unpack the bike?
Yay!
Yeah. Okay. The first year I rode the Highland Trail was a fully rigid steel frame bike. And I've morphed over the last 3 or 4 years, and now I ride a full suspension mountain bike. And I reckon on that route it's faster and much more comfortable. just all of those tiny little bumps that just get absorbed, that don't get transferred to your bum and your hands. You know, those are the things that your hands and all your contact points are the things that mean you fatigue. And so if you can just do everything you can to minimise the fatigue, I think on something like that, it's really worth it.
So Beth's wondering what bike you're riding there, Lee.
This is it's a Juliana Joplin. Like the female Santa Cruz equivalent, it's exactly the same bike as the Santa Cruz model. It's their cross country full SAS, so 120 mile of travel per year. What else can I say about it? It doesn't have. It's got. It comes with 29-inch wheels, and that would be my choice. 29-inch wheel with a really fast rolling tire, but it's set up at the moment with 650B and big volume tires, just because that's what I've been riding. But for the Highland Trail, I would have something with much less grip on it than that. And
do you find that that with a 29er that you've got enough clearance on a full SAS with your bag on the back, Lee?
Yeah, so this is the biggest problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're shorter or and you're riding a full SAS with a 29-inch wheel, then this when your suspension's on, this is the problem part, isn't it? And Apogee, I've done some stuff to sort of mitigate that. All the brands are now trying to create these little bags, smaller volume bags, that will fit a dropper post, in conjunction with these little collars that mean that your dropper post doesn't get damaged. I don't know. I sort of feel like there's never going to be a perfect solution to that one.
Yeah.
I'm just. This model and my length of leg are never going to be fully compatible. Like on the Colorado Trail, there's tons of clearance there, isn't there? But I was still getting bag buzz when I hit something.
Yeah. It is all a compromise, isn't it? That's Gary pointing out the variety of bikes that have won the Highland Trail or been up the the sharp end of it, and it's so varied. Just sort of depends on the rider and what suits them, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. This couldn't be more different from the first bike I rode, and and enjoyed all of them and moved reasonably quickly over them all. So just different things, different people, different stresses. I'm really happy to answer all sorts of bike questions later on.
Yeah, crack on. Yeah.
So I'll take the bags off.
And that's Caroline asking about a dropper post. So yeah, there is dropper posts, isn't there? There's a dropper post on your bike there, and that's a special dropper post bag that.
Yeah. There's a little collar that you fit on your post. Can you see that? You might not be able quite to see that, but there's a little collar that sits on there that the strap goes around. It means that you don't damage the stanchion of your dropper post. A light and a spare light, just keep it on always. Permanent. You can see that. It's not. Just tip the computer a bit.
Yes.
So for the Highland Trail, it's 5 days long. And it's in the height of summer. You don't actually need that much light. So I carry one of these. It's a big battery in it. If you keep it on low, it'll last the whole time. So yeah, I don't feel like I need a dynamo to power lights on something like the Highland Trail.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this one off too. I don't know.
Your favourite, isn't it?
What's that?
That bag.
This bag?
Is that your favourite bag?
Like this bag.
Top one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put this away now. Oh no, I'll take this off too. And I'll show you all my bags. Top tube bag. I think that's everything. I'll put the bike away now. Apart from this, so although I carry water on my back, I also carry a spare bottle in my bottle cage with recovery powder in it, or just milk powder, anything sort of protein based. And before I go to sleep every night, it's hard to eat sometimes when you're pedaling that far and that hard, but I'll drink a bottle of that, just fill it up from water from a stream and drink a whole portion of that. And it's like a meal replacement. And then just having it there, because the last thing you want to do before you go to sleep is do something like that. So it's just handy and it's there and it's easy. Okay. Okay. So, everyone's so different with this stuff. It'd be interesting to hear how you do it, Jen. But yeah. In my top tube bag is stuff that I want to access while I'm riding. So I don't tend to put food in there. A lot of people put snacks and stuff in there. This is just stuff that I need to know where it is all the time. And when things get addled, I just want to know that I'll go there and I'll be able to find it. So that includes Allen keys, Sudocrem,
modest bag,
cleansing wipes. Because if you don't do this stuff, it just really, really hurts, doesn't it? And then that's, you can run yourself ragged, but I sort of tend to prefer to look after myself, or it just quite grim.
It's really grim.
It does get grim, doesn't it, Jen?
Really, really grim if you don't look after yourself.
So grim. You mustn't, though, forget which is your chain lube and which is your bum butter. Really important. This is chain lube. This is bum butter.
You also mustn't mix up bum butter with toothpaste, because that's disgusting.
Don't ever do that. It's not good for your bum either.
It's not. Because by the time you need bum butter, you do not want to put that toothpaste on it. Or vice versa. Mint bun. Yes, Keith. Yeah.
Go on.
Graham Ashton was just saying, does bum butter work as chain lube? And yes, I have definitely used it as chain lube to get out of trouble. It's not ideal because it just dries up really quickly, but I've used bum butter and sun cream and sardine oil.
Or
anything goes, doesn't it?
Classy, Jen.
Yeah. I've not used any of them as replicates for bum butter.
Sardine oil. The day that happens, you must give me a call. Also in there, I carry a spare battery pack and cable. And that means that I can be charging my devices like on the go. And if I've got a dynamo or have another bike with a dynamo, then I can be charging these batteries too. And I carry 2 of these little batteries because the little ones charge from your dynamo and the big ones don't. And revelation, I never used to listen to stuff when I was riding my bike. I was thinking it sort of cut me off from what was going on. I know, look at your face. So it's new. And then something happened the last time I rode the Highland Trail, where I was just like, you get into this spiral, don't you? Where you just can't get out of it, and all you can think about is negative stuff. And it just was like, and I'd carried these round, it was like day 3, and I'd carried these round, I was like, I am having such a hard time, plug this in, and my whole world just changed instantly. It was a total revelation. And so, in the Silk Road and Colorado Trail and everything, these have been like gold to me.
Definitely.
Okay. In the seat pack, it's tiny, it's pointless, there's hardly any point in taking it. Look at the size of that thing. So let's remember that this is like mega good year. The sun is out. Yeah.
So this is your 2017 race, isn't it? When it was absolutely scorchio.
Yeah, and the forecast was good for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So I lined this because it's not waterproof. But even on the most scorching of years with the perfect bone dry weather forecast, I'm going to carry full waterproofs into the Highland Trail.
Yeah.
There's just that I just couldn't ever justify getting into that sort of trouble. You know, the weather can turn like that. I can't. And even if I carried those all the way around and got back with them without ever having taken them out of the bag, it's worth it.
You're just going far too remote. Like the places you're going are too remote, aren't they?
Yeah.
It just wouldn't take very much for things to go dreadfully wrong. Yeah.
It's just not worth it, is it? Yeah. And these are great. You've got a pair of these. You do, don't you, Jenny?
Mitts I use.
Oh yeah.
I used before I lost one. Past tense. But yeah, nice little Primaloft mitts.
Yeah, packed down to nothing. I'll even put them in the back of my gilet when I go out for a ride on the road. And all of that stuff, that's all in that bag, because I know that even if I'm not thinking straight, that's the bag that I go to if the weather goes rubbish. So without having to think about unpacking anything, just like go to the seat pack and you'll be fine. Also in there, I carry my bike repair stuff. So it might be worth showing you this in a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Tie levers, cable ties. This, I don't actually carry this normally. I normally have a much smaller one, but I couldn't find it. A tiny little set of pliers.
Oh yeah.
To get your those out and stuff if you need to.
They're just incredible, aren't they? I wonder if I've got mine here.
Your battery pack, because you never know. Sewing kit. The number of times I've had to sew up tires to get out of trouble, and quite often I'll put some dental floss in there as well, because dental floss makes a really good strong stitch. Some tubeless solutions. So my tires are set up tubeless, which means that if I puncture them, then this will seal the hole. It's not fail safe, but it's pretty handy to have. And a spare inner tube in case that doesn't work, because it quite often doesn't work. Spare mech hanger, which is specific to my bike. Yeah.
You're a good girl, aren't you? Taking a spare mech hanger.
Did Lee have when she went on the Colorado Trail? You Oliver had to fill me out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now you can't one.
Now I have one. Tire boot. Yeah, in case you rip a hole in your tire, and sometimes with stitch and putting that inside the inside, and then before you reinflate it, then that will mean that the inner tube won't poke out the hole. Handy. And then this little box of delights. I lost this. I've been in so much trouble. Everything in it that you can possibly need, and I've worked quite hard to get it down to that sort of size.
Yeah.
Are you intrigued, Jen?
I must have seen it before. I'm good. Can I guess?
Yeah, go on.
Is there chain links?
Yes.
Is there sugru?
Yes.
Is there patches?
Yes.
Is there a repair? Have you already done the repair little worms?
No.
They're there too. Great.
If you need to know how to use any of this stuff, then you can ask me to.
What else might be in there then? Is there any little bolts? I often take little bolts and then I'm like, I wonder what I would use them for. Yeah. That's a good one. Yep. I mean, I've not seen enough duct tape in your kit list, in your kit there.
Duct tape lives somewhere else.
Is it on your pump?
It is. So my pump lives in the front bar bag, and it's smothered in duct tape and electrical tape. Okay, come on, Jenny, is that all you take?
Oh, how much? Oh, is that all I take?
I know to take this.
Yes, I don't think. Oh, spare brake pads. Yeah.
And super glue.
Super glue for the patches.
For the everything.
For the everything.
Yeah. For your skin. For everything, you can fix everything.
Everything's super glue.
Yeah.
That's a nice little package, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
I think the sugru. I think you should explain the sugru a little bit because not everyone will have heard of sugru.
So it's a moldable glue, and it hardens to any sort of shape, and it is really, really solid. It's brilliant. And what's the best fix that I've seen with sugru? Somebody snapped their mech cage, so their carbon mech cage, the bit that you put your two jockey wheels and then the bit that links those in your rear mech. Someone snapped that in two and fixed it with sugru. So just put it back together with sugru and it lasted.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think worms might have been a little bit confusing when we shouted out worms. Worms! Does everyone not take worms?
Worms! Yeah, I'd go on YouTube if I were you to figure out what this is for. But if you set your bike up tubeless, if you get a puncture, then you don't just fix the tube. You've not got tubes. You shove one of these actually from the outside into the tire, and it fixes the hole along with the latex solution. So, yeah, brilliant things. And you can fix quite a big hole with one of these. You get different sizes for different volumes of tires. So, I think you've probably seen enough of all of that.
I was just having a little look for the dyno plug. So that worms, if you've got a spare 50 quid, then that worms come in a really lovely little purple package and are dead easy to use. Remember when James showed us them on Match the Miles?
Only vaguely, I was quite tired.
Yeah. And plier wise, that's more like the size you would take, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good size. Perfect. Exactly those. Quite handy for if you need to take the valve core out of your tire, put more solution in, more latex solution in. But,
yeah.
Splinters. One of your teeth. You might want to take one of your teeth out there.
For your mates.
For your mate's teeth. It's never come to that, has it, Jen?
No.
And then there's this Mount My Bar bag, which I pretty much rely on for everything. So when I'm riding, I can access all of this without stopping. Quite handy, just being able to get in and out of this while you're riding along. And therefore, in here are the things that I like, my staples like food and stuff. So a little jar of peanut butter, hydration tablets. I probably have some oat cakes in there, some energy bars. Yeah, I mean, food is food and it's a whole other subject, so I won't go into it, but that's where I keep it. I also carry a toothbrush. Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
You can't say no, can you? And then aspirin and antihistamine.
No, I think I attempted to do the first Highland Trail without a toothbrush to save all that weight, and I think I went and bought one in Compton or something like that because it was so disgusting. You're eating so much crap and then thought of not brushing your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah. And it gives you a boost, doesn't it? It gives you a psychological boost. That is worth its weight in psychological boost. People are asking, how does my bag attach? So the front bag attaches with this really simple mechanism. All bags are different, but these are just a really simple hitch strap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, back on itself like that. And to be honest, if I'm traveling over really sort of rutted ground, or the pack's a bit worn, or the strap's a bit worn, then it will loosen over time. And so I do keep sort of tensioning them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as well.
And actually, remember back in the day before we had any bike packing kit, and you would just strap dry bags with bungees to your bike.
I know. We get really hung up on it, don't we?
Yeah, on really expensive kit, and actually I've had the best times, best adventures with dry bag strapped onto the front of my bike.
Yeah.
Stuffed.
The first time Ricky Cotter went bike packing, she bought herself a lilo and a blanket and went off into the woods.
Wow.
Yeah, and just strapped it to her bike with bits.
Yeah.
It's such a good story, that, I think, because
Yeah.
Ricky's got all the kit, but she didn't have it to begin with.
Yeah.
And she went out and just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same as Javi's always like, I think he's been top 3 anytime he's raced it, isn't he? In the Highland Trail, and he's basically just got a bag strapped to the front of his bike. He doesn't use, I think he's got a bit of a harness that he picked up somewhere, but yeah.
No, I like that, the idea of budging. I also like to know that it's solid and it's been thought through, though, because the last thing you want to be doing is getting off your bike.
Yeah, Javi drops things.
He just drop things. Although I've only got one arm warmer, so I can't even speak. And then in this bag, so this bag is completely waterproof. I'm flashing about Apogura. This is who I use. There's loads of other brands, but this bag is waterproof, so I don't have to worry about lining it with anything, and I really like that. Just shove things straight in, and I don't actually ever take my bags off my bike. I just leave them on there, and I take things in and out of the bags, and that saves a bit of time, because this is a little bit footery, especially when your hands are cold in the morning. Just leave them on and just shove things in. And in here is, again, we've been talking about psychological advantage, and in here is just everything that makes me feel secure out there. So I can go into the most remote part of the Highland Trail, and I can just know that if everything gets really, really grim, I can open this bag and be warm and be safe. And that is, you could go days, couldn't you, with that knowledge? What a lovely thing to have, what an empowering thing to have on your bike.
Yeah.
Is all you need. We clutter our lives up with stuff, but that's all you need. So in here, I've got spare socks. So just to sleep in, or if things get really grim and my feet start to hurt a lot. I've got a spare wool, long, warm layer. And this is all the stuff that is, if I stop for the night, I'll put all of this on, even if it's over the top of the other stuff. But I know that if I was really, really if it was minging, then putting all this stuff on would save me. I've got a skinny little down jacket, compresses down to nothing. And that's all in terms of spare clothes. So those things are the things. Oh no, it's not true. It's not true. I've got something else, but I don't know if I want to show you.
Show us your pants.
Okay, there they are. No shorts. And that is really important, actually, because if your bum does get really sore, then taking off, just even pulling your bibs down and just letting things circulate is really important overnight. You heard it here. Sleeping bag, really lightweight sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And really lightweight bivy bag. Those two things. So a bivy bag is just a waterproof bag that you put your sleeping bag inside, and so if it rains or in the morning, the dew doesn't affect you. And that is it. I don't take a sleeping mat when I do the Highland Trail and the weather's good. Just find some heather. I don't sleep in bothy, so I'm not on concrete floors. Grass is usually pretty warm, and I'm only usually lying down for a couple of hours. So that feels like enough.
You wouldn't want to get too comfortable anyway, would you?
You wouldn't, would you?
No. You need to get up and get going.
Yeah, exactly.
So Beth was asking where you tend to sleep on the Highland Trail, and is that what you look for, sort of heathered soft ground as opposed to covered anywhere and covered or inside from the midges?
Yeah, what's this bivy bag is really mega lightweight, but it still has a midge net, so I can sit myself completely in that and be
with all the midges that have got in while you've tried to zip it up. I've got one as well, and I'm still trying to work out if there's more inside or outside by the time I get it.
Yeah, I know it's a horrible moment, isn't it? But then you fall asleep.
And do you know what else is a horrible moment? When you wake up in the morning dying for the pee and you can't unzip the zip, you know, when you're like in that, like, oh, in a hurry.
Yeah, and it is a horrible moment, really grim.
Yeah.
To answer that question, I don't know about you, Jen, but I don't think, oh, there's a nice place to sleep. I'll just go, and then I'll get to a point where I'm just like, right, my eyes are closing now. I need to lie down, and I'll just find the best place that, you know, the next place that I find. And if that's, and yeah, there's usually always somewhere soft within a 10-minute ride, isn't there?
Do you take a hat with you, Lee? No bonnet, says Miles. Hi, Miles.
No bonnet, no. Other than I've got a buff that I'll wear around my neck and that I'll pull up over my head if I need to stay warm. Because 360% of your body heat escapes through your head.
It's a big percentage, isn't it? Who would think there could be such a thing?
I thought it's something like, I don't know, 60%, 70%. And a helmet.
Great.
What helmet do you want me to wear, Miles? Take suggestions.
Okay, we've got some questions coming in, Lee. Do you want me to hit you with them?
Yeah.
Great. What was the lowest point of your HT 550?
I don't know if I want you to choose the questions. Just give me some.
Come on.
The lowest point was just before I put these in, and that turned me around on a dime. It was incredible. So it was at the top of it come out of Fort William, and I climbed back up and hadn't dropped down to Kinlochleven yet. So that stretch on the West Highland Way between Fort William and Kinlochleven, it's like this sort of flat plateau and just wasn't getting any rhythm. It was quite close to the end, so I had in my head that I would finish, you know, in a couple of hours, and I was still miles away, and I just didn't have any energy, and I just felt so rubbish. And I was ready to throw in the towel, which is daft because you're just a stone's throw from the end, but you know, in relative terms, but you're so far from the end emotion, aren't you?
Such a hard part, isn't it? It's not techie, it's all rideable, it's just a bit sluggish, and it never ever stops.
Just like, oh, come on, you know you've got that big climb out of Kinlochleven again, and it's just so that was it for me.
That's pretty good making it to there. That's about, oh, you must be almost 500 miles by that point. Yeah.
I was having a ball up until that moment. There was not a low point up until that moment, actually.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Now, if it was like a bigger race you were doing here, this is from Crispin, so maybe for people who can't finish the Highland Trail in a sub-4 time, so, you know, the race is going to be longer for them, or you're doing a bigger event, something like the Silk Road, although that's different because you're at altitude there, so you have to take a tent or a tarp with you and a stove and that extra kit. Would you take a different bike, or would you always sort of go for that bike if it was that sort of terrain? So for I guess the Colorado Trail is a good example, isn't it? Because it had all that things that you needed to have shelter.
Colorado Trail is a really good example. So Jen and I rode that last summer, and it was sort of the same sort of terrain, wasn't it? So that was definitely going to be the most comfortable, fastest machine. And I chose to wear a rucksack rather than compromise on the machine.
Yeah.
But if I was going for a tour on non-technical terrain, I'd take the Shand, like this a nice steel hardtail, and have all that space in the frame and not worry about the dropper post. And you can just replace that. Like, you don't need a dropper post. You could just take it off and put a static post in. That would give you, you know, your normal pack size on the back. What else would I change? I would take a tent. I could got a single skin tent that I would take. That is much bulkier than the bivy bag. or I would take a bigger bivvy, got like a big posh, lush bivvy that's got like this huge space.
Practically a marquee in there, isn't it?
Because you can have a wedding in there.
Party Lee. Lee, Kerry's asking, do you think that the trail would be manageable on a gravel bike? Well, we've got a friend who tried just that. She says she wouldn't be racing, she's just going for an adventure, so that would be different. But our friend Fraser did the maths and thought he would ride it on a gravel bike, and he did very well, didn't he?
So fast up until Kylesview. He was faster than anybody else, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because the first half of the Highland Trail is really fast, and it's mostly on gravel road. It's mega fast up there, isn't it? But then it's when you turn back round and you start to come back down again that it becomes quite technical. And where did Fraser bail?
He got to what's the Sullivan Bothy? Is it Sulags? No, the Bothy just out of Lochinver.
Oh yeah,
up the Lochinver track. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, isn't it?
He got to there within 2 days. Like he was, or within like on the first. Yeah, I can't remember now, but yeah, he got there in a ridiculously fast time, and then called his mum to come and collect him the next day.
We've all been there. Mom.
But
possible. Anything's possible. Isla Roundtree did it on a hardtail, didn't she?
Yeah.
Just last year in ITT, and she has all. She doesn't ride anything else. So that was flat bars. It wasn't drop bars, but still.
I rigid, fully rigid.
It's just how much fun do you want to have? Maybe how much do you value your wrists?
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. I had a conversation with someone today and they said that to me, and I was like, that is great life advice, isn't it? Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Excellent advice. Maybe they should have given you that last year, Jen.
From birth. What navigation do you use and what's your backup? That's from Katie. So Katie, hi Katie, she should have been doing the Highland Trail this year. It's been in the morning, but so next year for Katie. Yeah,
you'll notice that I didn't mention navigation at all, and that's because I lost it. On the Jenny can.
I think we use the same ish Garmin, don't we? A Garmin Edge. This is a really fancy one because that was my round the world Garmin that doesn't work that well anymore. But it was a Garmin Edge 1000. But I've had lower spec edges, and I think they're pretty bomber. I went for one that so it speaks to my phone. So it was easy to upload the routes, and just a bit like, you've been using the Wahoo as well, haven't you?
I don't have a Wahoo myself, no, but I borrowed somebody's. And
borrowed someone's last year, yeah.
It's easy. It doesn't have the detail on it that I like from the Garmin, because the Garmin you can download the OS maps, and that's really nice and easy to follow when you're in the hills. And big screen. The E-Trex as well. The E-Trex carries, you've got your AA battery, which is quite handy too. But yeah, I think Garmin aren't. I think there's lots of different models out there. Most of my navigation's been on Garmin, but I want to try something else.
Garmin with backup on phone.
Garmin
and
backup on phone,
and a quad lock.
And a quad lock. I have the entire Land Ranger series on this phone, and I am so grateful for it.
Yes. Yeah. There's some techie questions like, what's the best bivvy you found, from Lewis? Hey Lewis.
Hi Lewis.
Graham's asking about your bivvy bag as well.
Okay. So this bivvy bag is a Terra Nova Moonlight. It's really, really breathable, incredibly light, packs down to nothing. I am not sponsored by Terra Nova. I bought this full RRP.
You find it difficult to get them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all. I think they've stopped making them. Last one I got, because I'd lost mine. Yeah, it was last of the batch. But it's like, and it's not even a bivvy. It's like a bivvy liner. It's that light, isn't it?
So light, yeah, and it's not comfortable. It's not what you would want to tour in or spend any sort of time in. You want one of these. You're going to spend any time. This is a palace. This is
gorgeous. Okay, here's a nice question. What is the one thing you'd say to someone who's going to do this solo or with a friend for the first time?
Oh, don't go too hard. Don't hurt yourself. Don't push. Don't hold on too tight. Just let the adventure unravel. And it don't get hung up on time. You can start this thing sort of so stressed and be like, oh, such a big undertaking. We've got to go so fast. Forget all of that. It's going to take as long as it takes. And if you can stay in that mindset, then you'll not only finish it, but you'll enjoy it. And you'll probably go faster than you would if you were scrabbling about trying to do it fast. That'd be my advice.
That is great advice. I'm going to remind you of that next time we go riding together, Lee. I'm just on Facebook looking for, there's quite a few folk watching on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Lee, do you ever get concerned about ticks or midges when you're lying in the heather?
Usually by the time I'm lying in the heather, I'm too tired to think about ticks and midges.
But yeah, ticks are a concern, aren't they?
Concern, yeah. Midges, no. Midges, I think if you're going to live and enjoy the Highlands of Scotland, then you have to get into some sort of philosophical understanding with midges. You can't fight them; they'll always win. So there's something about just surrendering to the midges. But ticks, yeah, I think I don't think about it when I'm out there, because again, it's just part of where you are, and you can't worry about ticks at the time. But I do give myself a thorough check every time I come home. Yeah.
Lee, have you ever been on any more rides where other riders drop sausage rolls on the trail?
I did go on a ride recently in the Lake District where that seemed to be happening, and I was like, where are all these sausage rolls coming from? It's what a shame I'm a vegetarian. I'll just get them up for somebody else. Yeah, that did happen to me once. I've still got them. If anyone wants their sausage rolls posted home, let me know.
Brilliant. And what about your lights? I'm not sure if you said what your light models were there.
Yeah, so I use exposure Toro, which is the big unit that holds like 20 hours of charge, and then I also have one of these, and actually you can get around the whole Highland Trail with just that. It's so light, isn't it? And if you're sleeping a couple of hours a night, you just need that last thing first thing in the morning. Tiny little exposure joystick, and I just always have it on my helmet.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that they wear smidge against ticks. That's good, responsible information, actually.
Yeah.
I don't, but I can totally see why you would, and any deterrent's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing on the lights, if you're going to be a bit longer, I mean, that light will do you because you're a sub 4-day rider. But if folk are out there, for a little bit longer, you could be out there for 6 days or 7 days, and that light's not going to last you. So having on some bigger rides like out in Arizona, I had a torch, like a head torch, just strapped with cable ties. I mean, it was a high quality look going on there, and it was super good.
Hellraiser, you had
I know, wearing it for 2 weeks and never cutting the little bits off it. But it meant that you could have, like, unless it was really techie, you would use your big light if it was techie, and then it just meant for like seeing around the place when it got a bit darker, then you could use that light and it didn't use so much batteries. I found that quite good. We've probably
dynamo lighting is the other thing. So yeah, I've got a dynamo for my other bikes, and I love it. And I've got this light that attaches to it that I use in the Silk Road that has a USB port in the back. So it's just this whole lovely, simple unit that just charges your light. You don't have to ever worry about keeping your lights charged, and you can also charge your things out the back of it. So, but you know, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You lose a little bit of drag through the dynamo, and it's just another little faff.
Okay, we've got 2 more questions, and then that'll be us. Well, I'm going to stick a really responsible one in here because neither of us have mentioned it. It's from Lynn, and she's sending lots of love from Kinlochbervie. Lovely. But any top first aid tips? Any top first aidy stuff?
Yeah, brush your teeth. No, that is really good. A lot of people carry first aid kit on trail, don't they? You do.
I a bit like your maintenance kit. I've managed to get a first aid kit that's like, you know, smaller than the palm of my hand or just about that, and inside it I've just got like, you know, I've got a big old bandage because I've been out with mountain bikers when they get a massive gash, and it's just worth its weight in gold. And I think it might have a triangle bandage in it as well, a little tick remover, no, tweezers, sorry, to do the tick thing as well, and a couple of the stitches, you know, if you don't want to use super glue to glue your head together, just a couple of that fake stitches.
Yeah. So I reckon I could handle the things that go wrong there by just taking my spare layer out of my bag and using the duct tape from my pump if I had something that wouldn't stem its own bleeding. The little with the super glue, I would use super glue instead of those.
Yeah, that's definitely a personal choice having them, because I'd rather the thought of them in my head than super glue. But I think, I don't know, Lee, because I think in theory you're like, yeah, I'll use one of my layers, but if everything's gone wrong, and you're in a bit of a hole, then you're wanting to wear your layers, and for the sake of a bandage size, I don't know, I guess it is totally your own preference, isn't it? You could wear your socks, or you could put your socks on it, I suppose, as a bandage or that. But yeah,
put your clean socks on your feet that day and you were putting your dirty socks into somebody else's.
That would be disgusting, wouldn't it?
It's a really good question, and if I was ever out and responsible for anybody else, then I would carry one without a shadow. But when it's just me, I guess I've justified that in my head. Like, how would I deal with that?
And then last one.
Buffs are pretty good at makeshift bandages. What
else are they good at makeshifting?
What?
Anything else?
I never did this.
You did?
Katie Boocock, at the end of an event once, wore a buff as an all-in-one dress because she didn't have any clothes to wear. When did I? Oh no, I did do that. I was copying Katie Boocock.
I don't think you wore it as a dress. I think you wore it as a bra.
It's a bra, yeah.
The bra. There was a really nice question to end on there, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna finish on the question that everybody wants to finish on. What is next, Lee Craigie? What's your next adventure?
There's some really good medical advice coming from Gary here about what he takes: painkillers, ibuprofen, antihistamines, and indigestion tablets. I carry all of those, and I don't consider them first aid actually, because I get all. What's my next? I'm stalling there, trying to get a little bit of time. What's my next adventure? I don't know. Who knows when we're going to be able to go?
Leaving the house. I tell you what adventure I'm really looking forward to, and we were meant to be away this weekend. I don't know if you clocked that it was this weekend that we were meant to be doing it, but it was for my birthday and our friend's birthday, joint birthday outing, and we were going to run through the Lara Grue a bunch of us and meet some pals at the beautiful pub through there, that hotel, the something, I don't even know what it's called. It's something grand, the something arms, isn't it? In Braemar. And then cycle home. That's going to be my next adventure as soon as we can. Fife Arms. Thanks, Miles.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to going for a big bike ride, probably sleeping under the stars overnight and then finishing in the pub with my mates. I don't care. We go. There are all sorts of plans to go to Spain, to go to Switzerland, loads of fun things that I'm just not that bothered about anymore. I just want to ride with my mates in the Highlands.
Come and I'll meet you in Abbeymoor. So nice. I know it's funny that, isn't it? The big, it's not the big adventures that you're missing. That certainly not that I'm missing. It's definitely that mini adventures with your pals and other.
I think it will happen because it always does, but I just refuse to make plans about it just now.
Yeah, definitely. And isn't it lovely, like refreshing to not be reeling off, all these sort of big plans that you start chasing that, that you want to go far away, far and wide. And it's like, actually, I just like to go up the road and there's a really nice pub. We could cycle all day to get there.
Yeah, something really just refreshing about that, isn't there?
Yeah.
I've realised since lockdown that how much time I spend thinking, I should be doing that, or I should be rushing about and on this big thing, and just actually it's all right here. It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to dash about really.
Great. Excellent, Lee. That has been fascinating.
You knew it all. What do you mean?
I like hearing you talking through it. I mean, I knew quite a lot of it because I quite often what do you do? How do you do that? So I've had lots of top tips from you in the past, but it's nice to see all your kit out and talking through your headspace for it. I think people would have got a lot from that. So this time next year, Highland Trailers will be full of the Match the Miles crew.
Yeah.
Because you all know what to carry now.
Isn't it? It's so exciting. Get in touch with us if you're doing the Highland Trail next year, especially, and not exclusively, but especially if you're female, because it'd be lovely to get that quota up, more women doing it. Yeah,
for sure. Definitely. And mate, like everyone is doing so well at Match the Miles, and we are delighted that you've got on board, that you've ditched the competitive aspect of it, and that you are happy out there challenging yourself to a couple of hours a day, being creative, getting online, being patient with our tech issues, and just helping us out along the way. So big thanks to the whole team for sticking in, and for all of you guys for sticking in, and so lovely to be doing this with you all this week. Yeah, for sure. And tomorrow, what have we got on tomorrow in the lineup? We are both going to be cycling at some point on our indoor trainers for World in a Day, where we're going to go along and give some good chat. You can't talk about the Highland Trail because everyone's heard it now, so you need to get some new chat. I'll be banging on about Round the World again probably. You get on there and you donate the miles that you ride to charity. They're trying to get to £250,000 tomorrow. Oh, wow. Hit that target, which is amazing. And we're going to be on there between 8. I'll be on between 8 and 10, and Lee will be on from about 10 for however long she can face sitting on a bike inside for. Probably not that long. No. And then tomorrow night we're back on, and we're going to be having an Adventure Syndicate quiz. I'm excited about the quiz. I'm excited about the quiz. Drink lots of beer before you get there. Not you, everyone else. Yeah, no, it'll be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be really nice. And then on Friday morning, there's more stretching with velocity, or doing some stretching and yoga, chair yoga, and we are going to be working with Komoot and running a workshop on how to work Komoot. And I've got to say, I've never used Komoot more than right now. Like planning routes from the house, looking for, how can I be creative, how can I get enough climbing in, how can I, whatever I'm looking for in that ride, then Komoot has been super handy to do that. So we're going to have a good chat with Elle on Friday morning.
good. That sounds fun. And what are you going to do to get your hours up tomorrow?
Me?
Yeah.
I am going to ride my bike in this room right here, right there. Ta-da!
That looks like fun, Jen.
Well, do you know what will be fun? Is the community that you're riding with.
Yeah.
So there's a Zoom peloton, and it's such good fun. You feel like you're with your friends.
No, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. So excellent. It's always a little bit awkward at this point because I have to hit end meeting. I just don't like doing that. So bye everyone.
Bye, Jenny. Bye.
Bye Lee.
Bye, Jenny. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for showing us in your bags.
You're welcome.
Adios amigos.
See ya. Good night, everyone.